Good morning. It is early Monday morning, August 28th. I am doing my recap of the weekend this morning. Marley's here with me because I didn't have a chance to do it last night or yesterday at all. Just a very busy weekend. But amongst the busyness and everything going on, I was able to get some things done for the Every Bit Counts challenge. The first thing I did was a really easy thing, but I took some of our, sorry, that was Marley. I took some of our peppers that I had harvested from the garden on Friday. I had went later on Friday and harvested our first real kind of bell pepper and sweet pepper harvest of the year. Where we are in Zone 7B in North Carolina, a lot of my peppers start really ripening and really coming in and getting crazy busy is September and October. And I can usually even go into a little bit in November with them before it starts to really get a hard frost. So peppers are going to start really coming. But I got our first good bunch, and so what I like to do is slice them and then vacuum seal them and freeze them in some bags that way. And that way I can use them for like sausage with peppers and onions, or if I need to dice them, I can just take the slices and dice. So I like to freeze them in slices. Marla's just doing all kinds of things. And then I also took some leftover squash and zucchini. Now one of our squash plants I did have to pull on Friday. It was done. I think it was vine borers that had really truly gotten to it. But I have one left and one zucchini plant left. And so I took what I did have with zucchini and squash and sliced that and put that in a vacuum sealed bag and froze that as well. So I have some vacuum sealed frozen, and then I have some that's freeze dried. And so at some point this winter I'll kind of do a comparison over which one really remained with great flavor and texture as I went through to cook them. And then the third thing I did this weekend was I went ahead and made some pizza dough. I usually try to do pizza on Friday nights for the kids, and it's just easy for me, one less thing to think about. And I like to have some pre-made pizza dough in the freezer that I can just take out the morning of and roll out and bake. So I got 4 of those done. I'll link that recipe down below. If I can't find the link, I'll just write it out. But I've been using that recipe for years. It's from a book called Fresh Bread in 5 Minutes a Day, or 5 Minute a Day Bread, something like that. It's an older book, but it's the olive oil dough recipe that I use for our pizza dough, and it's delicious. This is like the last week. We only have a few days left of the challenge, and I want to close this out big. I want to really get some things done, not just to share them with you, but to get them done for me and my family too. So today I plan on getting a couple of different things done. I'm going to shoot that in a separate video later today to show you tomorrow. I also plan on getting the rest of my tomatoes done. So last night I pulled out 8 gallons worth of frozen tomatoes from the freezer. They are in the house thawing. They take a while because it's this big frozen mass. It takes a couple of days for me to kind of go through and cook everything down the way I want. But either today or tomorrow, I will pull out my big, what I like to call my Mac Daddy tomato strainer, and get everything strained out so we can get the sauce going. And I laid in bed last night thinking about this, like, what kind of sauce do I want to make? Do I want just regular tomato sauce? Do I want a marinara? And I really want a marinara, but I also want a tomato sauce to do things like chili and soups and other things with. So what I've decided is with all of those 8 gallons of tomatoes this year, I'm going to make a roasted garlic marinara sauce. I'm going to add sauteed onions, herbs from the garden, and roast our own homegrown garlic, and it's going to be glorious. But it'll take some time to get there, so be patient. That'll be coming over the next couple of days. And then with the rest of the tomatoes that are still in the garden, because we still have a decent tomato crop left, as they ripen, I'll freeze them, and then later this winter, I'll just make regular tomato sauce that then can be used more versatile with soups and chili and stews. I think that's it for today. I also am hoping to get a lot of my garden starts, my fall garden starts in the garden over the next 48 hours. It has been unbearably hot, like thick. The heat and the humidity have been so thick. thick and like weighing down. We're just waiting for the downpour. And I thought it was going to happen yesterday and it didn't. So I'm praying it happens within the next 48 hours. But before that, I want to get a lot of these in. I've got cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Swiss chard, bok choy, and I'm going to direct sow some beets and kale and celery. And then I've got a lot of herbal medicinal things growing and started too. I really want to work on amping up our home apothecary over the next year and growing a lot of those perennials so we have them to harvest as we need. So a lot going here at the homestead. I'm outside because it is just so beautiful, and I wanted to come out and enjoy the sounds and the sights and the smells of nature before the day begins. I hope you are off to a wonderful day and a wonderful week ahead. I will see you tomorrow. Stay healthy, stay well. Bye-bye.